How's it going, you guys, and welcome to The Takeaway, a brand new show that has a lot more in depth views of topics that we'll be covering. So, the morning cup is your daily dose, or well, close enough of daily dose to what you might anticipate the world is like that very given week. But the takeaway is more topic centric. You're going to be looking at stories that deserve a little more attention than what the regular media is giving it. So, with that being said, this is your takeaway. So, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the man that has more of an infamous following on Instagram than more celebrities combined, the man who's both an entrepreneur, a visionary, but also weirdly funny at times. And by that, I'm obviously going back to that meme of a deer in a pool and why Elon Musk just completely lost his brain when he saw that. So, it's quite amusing for someone on the outside to see someone as well intellectually advanced as Elon Musk to still lose his wits about a few things. It was Elon's birthday, and there's a lot about Elon that a lot of us might not know. So, with that being said, let's just take a little bit of a dive into what Elon Musk is doing with his time, his money, and most of his funds. Well, if you have seen the Joe Rogan Experience, you know a lot about the Neuralink subject that was, well, up in flames after the podcast came out. Well, Musk's ambitious project Neuralink is a device that surgically is implanted inside your brain, and with it you'll be able to communicate with machines and control them remotely, all through the thought of your mind. So telekinesis, if you will, is coming. It's coming rather sooner than later. Musk has also predicted that it would be one day the epicenter of telepathy. It would cure paralysis and it would enable vision for those that were either born blind or, well, had an accident that unfortunately made them lose their ability to witness. What we understand today is the fact that Neuralink is straight out of a horror movie for a lot of us, and a lot towards the side of, oh my god, I can't wait for this to come out on the other end of the spectrum. So the two different ends of the spectrum, whichever end you sit on is your choice. But then again, the broader aspect of the thing is always going to remain that what was once science fiction is very, very, very close to actually being a reality. Then we talk about the Hyperloop, and the Hyperloop is something very intense because the Hyperloop is not just something that's staying in the United States for now, the continental United States at that. There have been numerous Hyperloop projects that are all around the globe. There is a Hyperloop in India. There's a Hyperloop project that's between Pune and Bombay. So we're looking at things that can actually be the next big thing in terms of super fast travel. A concept developed by Elon Musk for ultra fast intercity travel using travel pods inside of metallic tubes and magnetism essentially doing the rest. The high speed transport system could achieve speeds of upwards of 1200 kilometers an hour. 1200 kilometers an hour. Do you understand the scale we're talking about here? 1200 kilometers. You can't run as fast as 30 kilometers unless you're exceptionally talented, I would say, or a cheetah. But whichever case, 1200 kilometers is something beyond comprehension. And wait a minute, let's just bring this up to, we're talking about sustained 1200 kilometers, not just one time 1200 kilometers. That makes a huge difference. Just when you thought that, of course, these two ventures would be taking up so much of his time, there's no way he could be doing anything else, he started digging holes for some reason, and then there were holes in Los Angeles everywhere because he was sick of traffic, and he was like, I'm going to just dig a hole from under the ground and go to wherever I need to be. And then it turned into a concept that people got behind a lot. A concept that got so viral that he developed flamethrowers as merchandise for the company. That happened. So, with a mission to enable rapid point-to-point transportation and transform cities into the future, Musk hopes that the Boring Company tunnels will transport people in giant electric underground sleds. So, essentially, if this is your car, alright, and if, I don't know, let me see what do I have here. Alright, if this is your car and if this is your sled and it's metallic, right? You park onto the surface level and it takes you down, and then this is there and you meet it. This is your sled. So now your car is essentially sitting on top of a sled. Now this magnetic sled locks your car into place. Your car is essentially a car on top of a car. That's what's happening here. And then this thing just takes off, shoots through a tunnel at incredible speeds, with you not doing anything except for just sitting in your car. And wham bam, you're where you need to be. And then the same cycle repeats itself. The sled stops at a desired location that's predetermined according to the boring company, and then it takes you back to the surface where it detaches your car, and then you can just drive off. That's essentially the concept of the boring company. There is the venture that you must be aware of, because this is exactly why most of us who don't really know Elon for. So there's SpaceX, of course. Now reaching for the stars and Mars, Papa Elon, to the moon with Dogecoin, all of these memes, all of a spectacular ensemble of what might be coming next for Elon Musk is always going to be up there. But with the space race, considering that Richard Branson just launched himself into space, considering that Jeff Bezos is going to be launching himself into space 3 days from now, we understand that there is a new reach for the stars, and the billionaires are leading that charge. So SpaceX was essentially founded to make space travel cheaper and eventually enable human life on Mars, which was the end all be all goal. If we ever get to Mars, and if Elon is the reason we get there, best believe Elon will be the president of Mars, or the biggest representative of Mars. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go, but eventually we'll get to a point wherein SpaceX said it has launched Mars-bound cargo, Mars-bound human missions. All of that's going to come into play. But for now, the tentative dates is 2022 for Mars-bound cargo. Alright, that is a projection by SpaceX itself, followed by the first Martian flight with passengers in it in the year 2024. Consider that we are almost at the end of the year 2021. How much leeway does that give us till the year 2024? Not much. Not much at all, as a matter of fact. Where does that leave you? See, for someone who's grown up as a 90s kid, space was something that we were fascinated with. Everyone wanted to be a scientist. Just like every single kid today wants to be a YouTuber or a streamer, we wanted to be astronauts. And it was always away from our grasp. Some of us made it to NASA, some of us didn't. But bottom line still remains the same, that any and all opportunity to go into space is always going to be something that we are going to love, because it's space at the end of the day. The bigger, grander scheme of things matter. The great beyond. I could have been wrong about the last take about this is by Elon Musk, because a lot of people who are really disconnected from the rest of the world and everything that's happening know Elon Musk for Tesla, the world's biggest electronic car production. A vision for the world to transition onto sustainable energy was essentially the reason behind Tesla being a company in the first place. Tesla cars were not just green on the inside, but built for extreme performance. And apart from the fleet of cars, other futuristic products include the now infamous and viral Cybertruck. So what started with the Roadster moved on to the sexy lineup, which he couldn't get the E, so it was a Model 3. So the sexy lineup, now with the new Plaid, and then the Cybertruck and the new Roadster. That's the lineup of Tesla. It has made Tesla the world's largest electronic car producer, the most successful electronic car producer at that, the most innovative, and so much so that Tesla has now forced the hand of the world's biggest car producers to jump into the game. We've seen Porsche come out of the Taycan. And we've seen super out there projections by Mercedes, by BMW, by Audi, by the biggest names in the game, that their future is also electric. Maybe not as substantiated as Tesla's is, considering that the roots of Tesla were always electric and the roots of the other companies weren't. But then again, funding plays a huge role, right? Research and development, if you will. And research and development is directly correlational to the funds that you throw into research and development. And general body companies that have been here, traditional automobile companies if you will, do have copious amounts of that funding. So wherein where would you put in your bets? A company that is relatively new to the game yet innovated an all new genre, or a company that has been in the game for a long time and then decides to jump into the new genre, bringing with it everything that it gained from the traditional scene and then applying it to the new budding electronic market? The debate is on. And finally, what a lot of people who actually know Elon Musk don't even know: Solar City, right? Now, Tesla acquired Solar City. This is something that not a lot of people know. People just believe that Solar City is now a standalone company and will always will be a standalone company, which is absolutely horse crap. At this point in time, we understand that Solar City's entire agenda was to create house units of batteries that you can then charge with your solar panels, and then those house unit batteries that you have, the wall mounted batteries outside of your houses, those can actually keep you completely off grid. As a matter of fact, the more energy you pump back into the grid, you get a kickback from. The Solar City designed and installed solar powered clean energy systems initially. This is where it started from. The company now plans towards more futuristic projects like entire roofs made of solar panels, cars that are going to be charging on charging stations with solar energy. And we're talking about superchargers here because Tesla has the biggest network of superchargers. And when Tesla had to upgrade them to superchargers of the second generation, it took them a long time to do so. And given the fact that if they do come out with the technology, that's going to, well, very much help the entire driving forward movement, if you will, for the electronic market or the electronic vehicles or sustainable energy, it has to do something dramatic. It has to make sure that it's super user friendly, it's super near every single person, and the switch is relatively simplistic. There is no tedious process involved, because that's the last thing that people want to do, especially if you're exchanging convenience for sustenance. That's a legitimate concern for a lot of people, which I don't really understand, but it's factual. With that, what we understand is the fact that Elon Musk, in all of his ventures, is going to do a lot for the world, right? No matter if he even stays with most of these companies, the fact of the matter is that these companies now exist, and no matter whose leadership these companies evolve under, will do amazing things for the world. Can one person make a difference? If that one person is Elon Musk and he's willing to put money where his mouth is, put his ideas and innovations out there and put together the best teams in the world, then yes. If it is just some random person who's criticizing the very existence or the very attempts by numerous people across the spectrum to try and make a difference, to try and make the world better, and just believes that sitting on your front porch and cussing out every single person or cussing out where the world is so-called going is the future, then hey, that's your narrative. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this was your takeaway, and I hope you learned something. See you next time.